because Frozen Tomb, like, you might think Cease and Desist is annoying. Frozen Tomb, you just kind of die when you get hit by that one, instead of just being lifted up into the sky and put back down again. So,
you know, Atlas, it's a sign of the times. Yeah, the bottom meta looks mostly the same, but the top meta is so different. Neither of these teams have really a traditional tank in them at all. We've got Jason, Fiora. The top meta has really, truly come full circle. And as a result, I really like what both of these top laners bring to this composition. When there's not a whole lot of tankiness on the side of T1, they're kind of cooldown based in their tankiness, because Lissandra can just self-ult and then becomes impossible to kill, for example. Fiora can obviously ult, she can repose, so she can become tanky based on her cooldown. She can be difficult to kill. But if you get hit with too many shock blasts and Zeri just runs at you, there isn't a great front line outside of those champions. There's an amazing lockdown. And if Faker has to ult the Zeri, he's not ulting himself, which makes him a vulnerable target for these Jace accelerated shock blasts. I like T1's composition, though, overall better, because I think these veteran players and this roster that we're going to harp on it a lot this season. They've played together for a whole year. I think they're going to be able to pilot this one a lot better than I think Gen G is still figuring out their synergy with this one, which is a lot more nuanced and complex.
I agree. I also think that T1 have a lot of different ways they can play their composition. The 4-1, obviously, fantastic. But let's get into it once we get onto the Rift. Here we go, guys. Sounds like Gen G fans have found their voice here at this stage. And of course, backs up against the wall. They're going to win this to stay in this series. We're going to bring us to 3 whole games in this best of 3. That is precisely what we want.
Yeah. That's what I want. We didn't get 3 in the first one.
Yeah.
So at least give me 1 extra. Give me 1 bonus.
Anyway, we were talking about the T1 composition and what it's capable of. I really like, you know, team fighting. You look at Wukong, you look at Nami and the Lissandra, and you're like, oh man, absolutely fantastic. I think that Fiora as well, if she can get into a decent enough position, can also offer a fair bit if you have backline access and can allow that Grand Challenge to provide so much snowball potential in a fight. But also, I just think side laning is so powerful for this composition, and it's something that Gen G don't necessarily have in their wheelhouse as much. It's only really Chovy that has that opportunity, as he's taken Foxfire first. Faker is going to spot him out there, had that ward up and available. That's a face check that Delight didn't really want to go for. They do manage to trade a bit of damage back there, get some money as well.
Hayes used his Q to just try to check the brush, but the positioning there for Guma and Keria on the far right side meant that they kind of falsely assumed they were not in there, and ended up being a fairly even trade regardless, though. Level 1s here, but these 2 squads in a trade like that is good. Nice shield here on the Pays. Yep, playing it well.
Ebb and flow value, not exactly the most massive. It's all right. We will reserve judgment for the moment, just fighting for level 2. Now these 2 bottom lanes.
It's been a while since we've got to see Doran's Jace, a champion that he's not up there in our top 3 Jaces in the LCK, I wouldn't say, but a champion he's very good at. And it hasn't been meta for so long that I'm excited to see what he's able to do with it. You know, I was hoping maybe we get some Kana Jace earlier, just because it's one of his iconic champions.
And he is Zeus Jace, for example.
Zeus, yes. Zeus also. He didn't play it as many games as Kana has, but still just picked up right where Kana left off in a lot of ways. So we'll see how he does on this matchup.
Yeah, Delight taking a heck of a lot of damage there. Pays trying to trade back, but it's just not working. As you can see, T1 in a great position. They did have to invest the heal. Delight did as well. And so, good position here for T1.
Just a little bit of, side. And you talked about it earlier, there's a little bit of all-in potential at level 2 with this, but it's not with the health bars the way they were in the trade that Delight took previously. So we'll just back away, a heal down, but traded, as you mentioned, and gonna back off here with the wave pushing. Shouldn't lose too much.
Yep. Be able to go back, grab a bit of a longsword, something like that, and head back towards this lane. Delight waiting for a little bit more. What a guarantee that he can make it as well. Waited for that last little potion so that he can be a little bit more healthy. Ona starting off this Rift Scuttler. Peanut doesn't spot him out there, and in fact, Ona just very sneaky monkey. Level 4 for both of these junglers. Chovy rotating over. Faker relatively low there as the flash has to come out. Really nice bait there from Faker. Didn't want to overcommit because he was relatively low. Still manages to get the flash out from Peanut. Couldn't afford to risk it.
Raindrops keep falling on Peanut's head in this one, man. He doesn't actually scry owner and then is caught by the potential all-in from Faker there. Has to flash, loses flash early, loses both scuttles.
Yeah.
And this is a matchup in the top side of the map where Jace needs help early. Isn't going to be able to all-in on his own, and that's why both junglers path top side, and Peanut just kind of loses that war by default, and loses bottom scuttle too. There's nothing going his way this early game. And yeah, 16-1.
Chovy's pretty good at Ahri. Yeah, he was undefeated for quite some time last year. Took a while before that first loss did come through.
I want to say it was against Dom1 Key or something too. Like it was against a high-profile team that he did take that first loss. It's crazy.
And it probably wasn't his fault as well, you know. Yeah. But anyway, definitely one of his signature picks from 2022, and he's already having a great time in the lane against Faker. As okay, be a little bit careful, guys.
It's a lot of minions there. Hayes does have his barrier up.
Yushi, bit of a trade, but really nice shielding there, and the barrier coming through as well. Ona coming round. Hayes going to avoid the bubble, uses it to get a little bit more damage there as well. Good positioning from Peanut to make sure that this is still a 2 versus 2. Delight still at full health. Pays the one tanking up the majority of the damage. With both junglers here, neither of these bottom lanes really wanting to overcommit.
Hayes with that refillable potion actually has such a nice edge here as they win the war of attrition with the health, and Delight's just going to help push this through. Peanut's over here at a really nice timing, and with Chovy having mid-prio, this is actually going to be, looks like maybe a setup for a 6-minute Drake take. The back timing here. Not going to get too greedy, however, here, and we'll actually just take the free back instead. Still early days here, low damage. So not going to rush that one down.
Still really good for Gen G. They make sure that Gumushi has to go back at an inopportune time.
Very
As you can see, Keria needing to stick around just so that they can get the experience so it's not getting wasted. But they really did want that to be on their Lucian. Still, of course, Keria getting towards an ultimate a little bit earlier could certainly be good news, but suboptimal, you could say.
Yeah, when these two bot players are not united, it means that Pays gets a lot more freedom to just farm carefully, and even when the wave is this far up without the Nami here, you can kind of be annoying. Faker looks for the root here.
Yeah, see whether Chovy can find the charm. He does not. Now Faker can continue the onslaught. Just out of range of the Q, as you can see, but still wanting to play this one out. Orb Deception looking for minions. Chovy known to do that from time to time.
Very scary there for Chovy, as Faker has unsealed the Ignite. So there's actually some real kill pressure there. You do lose, of course, the Electrocute with this, but if you can get the Ignite damage, it's the next best thing, and an all-in potential like that. Chovy does respect it and backs away. Teleportless at the moment. Yeah, he's going to lose a lot of CS.
He is. You can see he didn't actually wait any time at all in base. Made sure that he was running even though he was down to half health. Misses the cannon, but won't miss anything else. Probably best case scenario for that one. So we were talking about inopportune back timings once again. It is going to strike, this time on the side of Gen G. Plate, very close to going down. There it goes. T1 collect their first of the game. Gumushi and Keria are very happy about it. And with that serrated Dirk power spike that Gumushi now has under his belt, this lane is going to get a little bit more difficult here for Gen G.
It's pretty wild how active both junglers have been, but how still they've come up with no kills here. And what looked like the focal point for the early game, the top side, is just actually kind of neutralized, where you have this plated steel caps for Zeus kind of shutting down some of that serrated Dirk value here early for Doran. The wave push is starting to come through for the Fiora because Doran hasn't had really any help here after Peanut was pushed away. And T1 will take the first Drake of the game here. Just no help, no assistance across the map, and without lane control, just not much Gen G can do about this solo Ocean Drake that will go over to T1. But a very calm and slow-paced game here.
Yeah, Doran now getting challenged here. Zeus wanting to try and get that last weak point, but can't get there. Really nice movement from Doran to make sure that he denies the right-hand one. So Zeus not able to get all of those weak points, and Doran will survive. Still, you can feel it. This when the all-in is called, Zeus is very, very scary.
He really is. Doran's got 3 cookies and a pot to chew through, so he's going to now take this trade into his advantage as Chovy rotates over. Peanut saying, all right, you've got topside controlled for long enough here. Let's look for this Herald. Faker, unseen for the moment, for just a moment, that is to say.
Yep, Doran now trying to turn this one around. Faker does have the inside track, as we can see. The claw is going to come through. Acceleration gate comes down. Cease and assist is going to be there. Great flash from Doran. He's going to save his life, but the self-ult from Faker keeps him alive as well. Chovy now going to have to dash his way out, and still there's no first blood.
No first blood. We're reaching 9:30 now. That flash from Doran was immaculate to save him there. He survives. Faker self-ults. And we have an exchange of summoners here, and nobody dies but Genji walk away with the Eye of the Herald here. Faker trying to take this really long, careful approach here. Doran acceleration gate speeds him up here, grabs Faker, then flashes as Faker actually goes in, and then has to self-ult. Chovy doesn't want to push too far once he sees Owner is here, and that's the end of the fight. You get caught with that Wukong ultimate, you will be punished. So he gets away. What a great set of plays from both sides.
And just a lack of result. There was a lot of action, and just looking at the top of the screen, it's like, oh, grats, Genji. You've got, you know, a few hundred more gold. We don't really see any sort of advantage being taken from either side outside of the Ocean Drake that T1 have got now under their belt.
It's like what the LPL casters called us the Shakespeare region or whatever. We're just back to like, yes, very interesting, very nice flash there from Doran. Nobody dies.
Things happened, but nothing also happened. What does it mean? I wonder who called us the Shakespeare region, because I want to call them and let them know that I really like that take. Big fan. Anyway, we're going to continue trying to divulge what is in the great mind that the LCK has bestowed to us here today.
Quite.
I don't even know whether that sentence made any sense at all. Pretty sure it didn't.
Pays and Delight are just trying to hold this wave here as Owner rotates over.
All right.
They want to dive.
Skating out as Delight. Still going to have to flash. Very weird movement. Still going to live. But I think he thought that he was going to be able to avoid the tidal wave there.
Yeah, he didn't heal either. You could say, I guess he was just being really patient knowing he was going to be safe, but I press that heal every time I'm scared. I don't know where Owner is. But he doesn't heal at least, so he's got a little bit of a speed up. Hayes holds both summoners, and despite Owner's gank opportunity, he doesn't actually get the kill.
Almost picks up a turret shot there to Zeus, but instead holds on to everything. In fact, oh, no, never mind. He presses the Grand Challenge, but still, I believe, had the riposte available. Okay. In goes Shelly, looking to try and give Chovy a little bit of extra money. I feel like Chovy's amount of agency this game is going to be a lot higher. Even though he did get a lot of CC down, I think something that stood out to me of what Chronicler was talking about was the build giving him not enough damage made it look like Chovy wasn't actually able to really do anything to change the outcome on a lot of the team fights. I think in this game, he will have a little bit more of that added back. So that is certainly something to look out for.
He can look for picks, obviously, on the Guma Keria, but he also can punish an aggressive move from Faker. If Faker ease in, he can charm him and then ruin his day. Force him to self-ult instead of ulting Pays. He can charm Owner when Owner's trying to engage. He can charm Zeus, you know, if he doesn't riposte it perfectly. And even if he does, he's riposting early, and then he'll probably just get focused down in the moments that pass afterwards. So Chovy has a lot of agency in team fights here. We'll just see what he decides to build, because we've seen a lot of changes, obviously, to how Ahri has been built. We've seen Ludens. We have seen still people building the Everfrost that Chovy has loved so much. Will be that in this case. They just locked in. And then we'll see what he buys second. You know, Horizon Focus was meta for a little while. We've seen Shadow Flame. Dark Seal, good for cost, but hasn't gotten him anything just yet in a zero-kill game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that Horizon Focus, we actually saw in Challenger, picked up a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of it on the Ahri. I just don't feel like you get enough value for it. Something like second item Shadow Flame doesn't seem too bad, especially with Boots of Lucidity built up.
That's what I'm thinking.
We'll see where Chovy does decide to go as the charm goes wide. Oh, and misses the cannon. Oh, no.
How unlike Chovy.
I was half expecting the game to pause. Like, there was a bug. The cannon, the money didn't come up.
Sometimes when you watch Chovy CS under turret as RE2, you're like, did he just look at the minions and make them disappear and get the money? Like, what did he actually do? How did he hit that? That's impossible.
You know,
not in this case, I suppose, but
he's normally the IRS's minions, but is not so much in this particular game.
There's nothing he's gonna miss.
Yeah, he just audits the lane. That's what he does.
I like how we've had our first day was pretty high paced, and now we're at the LCK lull state forever in our second game of the second series.
Yeah, I like it. I'm into it. I feel like we haven't had enough of this. You know, we were commentating Challenger, of course. Now we have a global broadcast of that, which is been a whole lot of fun. But there's so much action, man. They keep fighting each other and stuff. I'm not used to it. I'm not a huge fan. Look at that. That's what I'm used to seeing. A charm going down on a warrior trickster. That's what I like. Not a lot of outcome.
T1 want to actually set up for this, and they are in good position. Guma does have his Gale Force, so this is a really nice spike to fight for before Pays actually has his Immortal Shield. They're going to TP commit.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Just Gen G picking it up. T1 were in position, but they've decided that, no, we're going to respect you.
And this is another, another T1. Okay, let's try to cross-map with Fiora topside. This time, Gen G may actually be able to punish, and obviously plates, you know, have faded away, and Zeus only has a cannon wave, so it's not like they're going to say, aha, we'll grab some plates or a whole turret. Just going to try to delete some minions here, but it's a cannon wave, so Doran loses very little. And Plate Gold, with that Herald going through, pretty massively favoring Gen G.
In fact, it is the only reason Gen G have a gold lead. The gold lead is almost exactly the plate lead. So otherwise, all of the CS basically even. If you sort of weigh it out with the slight advantage for Guma and slight advantage for Doran, Gen G are going to be able to take their second Herald. So for all things being equal, we would have liked it if T1 had have picked up that second one. Not going to be the case. Control of the neutrals starting to come through here for Gen G. And it feels like the macro has improved a little bit. However, this is the stage of the game where Gen G started to fall apart on that front. It was when T1 started to make more plays. And we haven't seen that happen just yet. But we're not going to rush them. This is the LCK.
No,
you know?
yeah. It was Shakespeare's region.
No, exactly. It's slow and steady. Rome wasn't built in a day, Wolf.
No. Shakespeare was an LCK fan, by the way. It's in the tablets.
It was written.
Yeah.
It was written. I think Plato wrote about it at some point. It was in the lost texts of Atlantis, which I have at home, but my mom doesn't want to show anyone. It's really weird.
It's really strange.
It's like really important for history and stuff, Ma, but like, I don't know. She seems protective of it. It's fine.
I mean, look, family heirlooms are important.
Yeah, I guess so. But, you know, so is human history.
Well, at least you were able to tell everyone about it now, so the secret's out.
Yeah,
the truth has been told.
Yeah, we're going to have someone pay a visit to my mom's house, I think.
Let's see where they drop the second Herald, because topside is kind of the easy angle, but it's also arguably the least impactful right now. If you could drop it in mid, you open up a lot of the map and open up a lot more opportunities for Chovy to look for picks as we're setting up for Drakes and future Barons and stuff like that, but it's a pretty healthy mid turret. So they get the Herald and they get the gold from the Herald, but utilization of it right now in such an even game state is going to be difficult. And I think based on the movement we see on the map right now and the ping we see there on the Tri-Brush top, they are going to drop it top. But it's, again, not going to be the most impactful Herald, just a little bit of extra gold in the pockets of Gen G here.
Yeah.
Doran's, you know, he's right on his way to his Muramana. You know, he's at 250, does have his Eclipse online. Like, he's in a great spot CS-wise, and if he can pick up that turret gold, it'll feel good too.
Oh, Faker just going to go straight in with the ultimate. Now they're going to try and chain the CC. Doran will go down, but now Peanut, can he actually get the tidy up? Goes for the easier target there. Does manage to lock down the kill in the end as Faker gets himself out. Grand challenge issued here onto Peanut. Zeus was thinking about a dive against two people, decides against it in the end. First blood did go over to T1. Gen G immediately answer, but the extra gold will be in T1's hands.
Demolish here for Zeus, just going to put a little bit of extra turret damage down. Carry has roamed up here to try to defend Zeus' push. He wants this turret so badly.
Great riposte is going to come through. Acrophism to augment it as well. Tidal Wave comes down and does manage to make sure that Peanut isn't getting out of there, but they still have a turret, guys. So it's a bit dangerous.
Yeah, Ring of Frost looked like it missed there too, so not going to have any extra damage on the Peanut. They still will force the turret down, but it's a free turret bottom side without a whole lot of resources committed. So Chovy is going to take this one down. So cross-map here pretty even in this case. As I may have caster cursed Doran moments ago, saying he's like right on track. They want to drop that Herald down. But T1 gets
No, they did want to do that, though.
Yeah,
you're right.
They did. Unfortunately, T1 was just ahead of the game. And by the time Lulu gets here, Doran is just... he's just dead. Faker's stopwatch perfect. And then they split up here. Delight's like, all right, I'm going to polymorph Faker so that he can't E, but he does get to E afterwards anyways. Roots Peanut for the TP that Zeus puts in, and Zeus is like, all right, now we're committing top. We're going to force this down. I have Demolish. And it's traded turret for turret, top and bottom. Finally, Doran will get the stop one. The Rift Herald is timing out, so they'll probably just try to force it to crash mid.
Yeah,
you have
actually,
to expect.
This in the end actually works out well for Gen G, right? Because they traded the bottom out of turret. Chovy was just down there taking that the whole while, so kind of works out all right.
Yeah, Doran gets it without Herald. Now they can use this Herald to try to set up for Drake. Yep. It's a little bit early, but still going to give them a lot of power for setup here. And if Chovy is unseen, if they don't know the angle he's taking, look at him sweeping here to try to clear vision, identify what T1 can see. You can try to threaten Faker here.
Eyes on Faker is so important, right? Make sure that that Claw of Doom flank cannot come through. Warrior Tricks that they're used by Ona. We'll keep him alive as now we're going for a bit of a battle. Chovy still looking for it. Faker goes Golden Tidal Wave. Forces him out entirely. Carrier has been so good at these defensive waves. As soon as he presses that button, it feels like Gen G are always forced to just back away.
But this time they're backing away to a critical objective. Second Drake for them of the game. Faker does not have Zonias. Everfrost is coming back online. He should have his E here very soon, if not already. But I think Gen G pretty much have this one unlocked.
Well, there we go. Cease and desist does come down. Orbit Deception, massive damage. Ona trying to get himself out. Does have another Cyclone. As in the meantime, we've got the Fiora locking down the kills. Pace now flashing forward, looking for some more. Gomushi's going to run away. Has he overextended? The answer's no. He dashes over the wall, but still unable to get these clean-up kills. Chovy and Peanut both traded for just Ona. T1 will take that.
Carrier gets another amazing Aqua Prison. Again. He just stops the follow-up here. Chovy gets punished instantly. And Pays, even with the low health bars, he just doesn't have a front line. And
oh, no! Faker just flashes in. The Everfrost is extraordinary! And neither of them can play the game. That was beautiful.
I mean, Faker just snapped Gen G over his knee.
Yeah.
Like a twig. He took them. Goes in hard, gets the double root. That's the end of that. And yeah, Doran's doing a little bit of damage to bot turret over here. But suddenly, at the snap of Faker's fingers, T1 have taken a lot of control.
That was a welcome to the LCK, or a welcome to Gen G, I guess, in Delight's case. We're going to check this one out one more time.
Look at the knock-up here onto Chovy. He just gets burst down by Guma, so that's a lot of damage gone. Pays ults here, but Peanut is in no man's land. Doran, not tanky, doesn't have any survivability, so Pays just can't keep chasing. There's no frontline for him. There's no traditional tank here. It's a Jace. The comp is very awkward. And this one, Faker just goes, snap, bam. Yep.
Oh my goodness, that slight movement to get the gorgeous angle of the Everfrost, just amazing. Chovy now trying to escape this one, not going to be able to do so. The Frozen Tomb does come through. Doran wants to try and take down Zeus to at least trade one back. They will be able to get that one. Wild Growth onto the Jace, but he just gets culled. And Gen G unable to rotate down in time. Still, the gold is even.
Yeah.
Like, even though all these incredible plays are happening and everything like that, no one's really been able to take a huge gold lead. Yeah, but T1 seem in control of this game.
A lot of the gold, you mentioned was in the plates. You could see a lot of that in Doran's, ability to control side lane against a Fiora, by the way. Pretty impressive stuff here, what he's been able to accomplish. He's been given a lot of extra time. He's got a 40 CS advantage. I think that's part of why Gen G still holds technically a gold lead very slightly here. Hayes, this is not where you want to be.
Yeah, that is absolutely not it. That is the chain of CC, Lissandra, and as well, paired with the Aqua Prison that is then so easy to land. A little bit of a rookie mistake there from Pays to stand underneath that turret against the list.
I mean, against a lot of other champs, a lot of other compositions, you feel pretty good about, oh yeah, I'm under turret here, but you've got to respect it.
I like that we just get it again, yeah.
Yeah, wow. I mean, the follow-up Aqua Prison, the Everfrost, everything is perfect.
So good.
This is Zeus getting caught moments later, of course.
This was the beginning of the last fight, so that's what it was. They thought they caught Zeus, but it was kind of the other way around.
Yeah, and then I don't know if we'll get the replay of Pays staying under turret here. Really unfortunate. Yeah, ends up being a trade here. This is the Pays one where it's like, I want those minions. I need to get fed. I need to get farmed. Well, you got farmed.
Yeah.
But just not in the way you wanted to in this case. But yeah, like you say, rookie mistake. And we don't see this level of coordination on all of our LCK teams. Like, I think all are capable of it, but T1 will do it every time. You definitely don't see it in challengers just yet. So, welcome to the LCK. Welcome to coordinated punishes of Azeri.
Exactly. Well, Gen G gonna get spotted here in the Faker Brush. Sorry, the Fnatic Brush. I say Faker Brush because he's hide and bush, you know, so he kind of took over the legacy. But now, gonna get spotted, so Gen G now gonna go for it once again. Doran and Chovy lying in wait. That is the charm onto the Warrior Trickster. Good fingers.
Owner's reaction time to these attempted charms is really good, and he has not really been punished very much for his positioning and his ward clears here on the Wukong. As Gen G trying to set up for a potential Baron fake and turn, but Doran isn't here. It doesn't have a crossfire angle to actually get accelerated shock blast damage off, so he's just going to kind of have to hover back towards this wave. And Gen G have to back away because Doran can't TP in and flank. He's a Jace. They will just turn and kill him. He has no defense. He's not tanky. He's very squishy. Glass cannon here, and even though he has teleport wards, quote unquote, he can't use them. And now that they're pushed back, T1 are like, I'm taking this Baron, thank you very much.
Well, they're going to go for it. They are spotted. Chovy right in the area. Let's see whether he can actually stop them here as Faker's Claw now on cooldown. Doran Shock Blast. First one going to miss. Extendo Beams coming on in there as well as they dive forward. Cyclone is fantastic. Doran's the one that's Wild Growth, and you can see Chovy just evaporates. He was there, and then immediately he was not. As now T1 just back off towards the Baron once again. Faker still has an exhaust. So if there's going to be a Zeri moment, she's going to be tired halfway through. Yeah. That Shock Blast is dangerous though. Still, Faker's going to come on forward. Faker peeling off. They do not want to go for any sort of 50-50 as Peanut off towards the side. Has to Vault Breaker, but there is the Zeri ultimate, and there goes the Zeri entirely. T1, they just find these little moments after moment. And once again, they're able to win out the team fight. Zeus now chasing down the last couple of members. Delight forced to try and get underneath this turret, but I think Zeus is going to lock him down. There it goes, the weak point. Most certainly exactly that. 12-3 now in kills. This game has ballooned out of control for Gen G.
It was so close for so long. 0 kills, a trade of Drakes. You know, Doran getting some advantages in the side lane. And then all of a sudden, Faker gets his stopwatch. Perfect play topside. Gets Zhonya's. Great play around Drake. And every single claw he extends, whether he takes it or not, gets a reaction.
Well, we're going to see whether Faker can survive this. The chaining of CC was almost great until it wasn't. Faker may not even die. He does eventually go down, but they trade immediately. Peanut has to try and get out of there. The Baron is being ignored because a double kill is required for Gumayusi. He's now 6-0-5. Absolutely massive on this Lucian right now.
And Faker's ult was probably not 8-10 seconds away. If this comes a little bit later, he actually can self-ult and buy so much time, but he just sacrifices himself in order to win the fight. Look at these claws here from Faker. Gets on top of Chovy. He's dead. He's done. It's over. Does it again on the Pays moments later with the Everfrost. And every single time Faker puts the claw out, the rest of Gen G has to part like the Red Sea.
Yeah.
And Pays is trying so hard to get in there, do some poke damage with the Extendo Beam. Faker comes in, team's now kind of cut in this awkward half and half situation. Peanut's on the wrong side of the fight. There's the ult coming through. Everfrost, Pays is dead. This is just clean team fighting out of T1, straight up.
Yeah, it's just really nicely done. Pays a little bit of an overstep there. I think you can feel a bit of frustration in the guy. 0-3-0 on this Zeri. And this time, like last game, in a great position, had a lot of kills. We are going to go for a little bit of a fight here as Peanut does manage to find Zeus. Repose now on cooldown, he's dead. Can T1 get anything off the back end of it? There is a Drake alive, soul point available for T1 if they do want to go there. But if Gen G can just get all 5 members down here, this is their opportunity. And even though Zeus isn't necessarily a huge team fight threat for this composition, he still certainly is a big thing missing now from T1's composition. Oh, the charm connects onto Gumayusi. Tidal Wave once again getting triple value here as Gen G are just going down so low pace. Gets Wild Growth. It's the only reason why he survives is now Peanut is just fighting against Faker, trying to get him off this flank. As Doran now just going to get taken down. Ona doing so much damage alongside Gumayusi on this Lucian. Chovy now will find Faker. They'll get at least one. No, they won't. Never mind. I tell a lie. He's just going to make sure that he survives. Self-ults, get a bunch of health back.
Still has Zhonya's, by the way.
Yeah. So I don't know why I was... sometimes, you know, it's been a few months.
Hey, look, it looked like he was going to die to Gen G, that's for sure. Yeah, they committed everything, and he's like, nah, I didn't even Zhonya's, man. That's a longer cooldown than my ult. Oh, Chovy.
Oh, that's a really nice repose. Zeus sees Chovy just briefly.
His ghost is coming up.
Yeah, Everfrost going to be dashed out of, so...
This game, man, it just went from 100 to 0, or 0 to 100 rather, for T1 so quickly. I mean, 0-0 for the longest time. We went 1-1, and now it's 17 kills to 5, and T1 are just punishing over and over and over again. This all starts off with Zeus getting dove on. He riposts really well, buys a ton of time. Look at how quick the reaction is here from T1. They almost get over there and turn this. This fight is a mess, unfortunately, for Gen G. The tidal wave placement is so beautiful because you either have to walk into the open arms of T1 or get stunned. Pays gets taken out basically instantly, has to get wild growth, but can't come back into the fight. The damage from the Gale Force nearly finishes him off, and now he's just completely out of the fight, and they're cut into 2 halves here. T1 are like, okay, we'll fight a 4v2 over there and a 4v2 over here. Faker has self-ult and zonies he doesn't need. There's just no winning for Gen G in this game.
It's just not happening. They're going to need some sort of miracle. There is no Infinity Edge on Pays. However, Gumayushi has one. He's also got a BF sword as well, just hanging out next to it. Shock Blast is going to reveal that this Baron is not long for the world. Gen G might have some sort of opportunity for a steal, but you can see that Peanut is pretty far away, and there it goes. Owner gets over the wall. Peanut just going to press the button to flash forward from Faker to try and dedicate himself to the fight. Now it might be an opportunity for Pace. He picks up the first one, but Zeus has found the backline. Riposte is fantastic against the stun as Peanut gets himself out, and Zeus says, nah, that's my double kill, and that is no Zeri certification for you, Gen G. They're going to have to run away from this one as well. The Baron now in their hands, and a Baron in the hands of a Fiora is a very dangerous prospect if you're up against it.
And Gen G's composition is just so complex. We talked about the nuances of how you have to play this one out, and there's just too many threats on the side of T1, and this far ahead, no matter how perfectly you play, you're not going to have a winning team fight at this stage, and they're not playing it out perfectly. There's still some holes in terms of the synergy and the communication here. Doran played it well, dodged the initial tidal wave with his Ghost Blade, but dies instantly anyways. Pays can't do much alone. And everybody is both so dangerous, but also so unkillable on the side of T1 right now. It's hard to win in any respect as Gen G here. And yeah, T1 have Soul Point. They've got a Baron buff. The map belongs to them. Let's watch Doran. He Ghost Blades away from this. Shock Blast Owner, and then he's like, I don't know, I want to do something. I've got the ult here. Faker flashes in, and then Doran just instantly dead. Peanut has to stopwatch.
And they split him up. Bubble onto Pays as well.
Pays can't kite back. He's not able to do big damage in this fight. He just instantly gets followed up on.
That is so unfair. He's hit by back-to-back Circle of Frost from Faker, an Aqua Prison from Carrier as well, and I don't think that was chained CC either. The Grand Challenge was issued immediately as soon as they had an opportunity to, and as you can see, Pays just hasn't had the ability to play the game.
And that's, of course, as Doran is getting killed on the top side of the fight. You know, Peanut has to stopwatch, can't heal. And, I mean, Delight tries to set up a Shirelius here, but can't catch anybody.
Gumayushi's taking matters into his own hands here as Chovy has to dash get himself out of this fight. But Pays left out on his own. Another Cyclone's just gorgeous. That's going to be the end of Peanut. And these Nexus turrets are not long for the world. Another kill comes in as Doran, he goes back to base and watches it explode. Chovy goes golden on the fountain. Faker's gonna join him there right as the Nexus goes down. T1, 2-0 revenge against the defending LCK champions.
It's another spring season. It's another opening day with a T1 victory. It just feels like the script for T1 for spring after not winning Worlds, but coming back as one of the strongest teams, a team that stays together. This story has been told so many times, and we're gonna tell it one more time tonight. 2-0, and for Gen G, I hope these players, especially Pays, don't get discouraged with the result because they had what was 2 great game plans, right? You know, we like T1's draft better. It was safer, easier to execute. This is the team that has pre-existing synergy, but Gen G's game plan was good, and the early game of both games was pretty solid, especially game 1 where they got this area ahead. Some of Peanut's dives were a little messy, but they still got the gold onto Pays. It's the mid to late game where T1 is